Hey Bookworms! It's Mom aka Sarah
and Char.
Welcome back to our channel, guys. Today's video is a little bit different. We're going to be touching base on some books that I want to unhaul. If you guys have been hearing anything about the controversy surrounding this book, and not so much the book but the movie made from this book, we want to touch base a little bit on that today. People have been touching base on the movie, right? Because when it first came out, I said I wanted to watch it. You guys, I still have not watched the movie yet. However, since the case came out about the producer and the main actress, played by, Blake Lively, I have heard things and I was kind of just leaving it alone. But then more and more, we just kept hearing things being revealed.
We've been following the case, all the videos that people are putting out, and let's just say more information is coming out every day.
And now I'm just like, I feel so over this book. I feel so over the book. I want to see the movie, and I'm curious to see if any of you guys have seen the movie. But based on all of the stuff that we've been seeing and hearing, I'm just so torn. Like, I literally felt like, I told Charlotte, I'm like, I just want to go to my shelf and just get rid of all these Colleen Hoover books. And being that this was our first year in, kind of diving back into books again.
Yeah.
I always said that I wanted to just give her a fair chance, right?
Exactly, yeah.
I didn't want to come in and judge her and based on what everyone else was saying. I read these first two books. Oh, I also read, because I read a bunch of books by her. The first one I read by her was this, It Ends With Us, and the controversy surrounding that one. I've also read the second one in the series, which everyone has said it wasn't necessary, but it was alright, right? Because it was learning about Atlas, who was a main character featured in the first book. So I was like, alright, it's fine. I didn't give it like a 5-star or anything, but it was good. And then I also read Verity, and this one is also another one that's controversial because the story behind it is just wild.
Yeah.
It's super wild, but it was honestly consistent in keeping an audience's attention. As long as you're not completely, I don't want to say put off, because obviously the subject matter in here is very touchy and it's not likable in any way, but I mean, it's no different than reading like, what kind, mysteries,
like,
and certain thrillers that has
definitely
like things in them, and it's like, oh, like you never like to hear about any of those types of things in those things, right?
Yeah.
So you take it in with a grain of salt. You're reading it for the thrilling aspect, and it definitely kept you wanting to learn more.
Exactly.
I know for some people, they just want to like throw this book across the room. So, so that said, given that I read those 3 books by her, I was kind of just going with the flow.
You also tried to get through November 9th as well.
Girl, I did.
Yeah.
I did. I tried to get through that one. I just couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't. And yeah, I ended up DNFing that one at like 75%. So I dabbled in my fair share of Colleen Hoover's. I feel so torn right now because we're not drama people, and I don't like to follow. It's not like I don't even like to really kind of indulge in the drama, but after going in and just kind of immersing a little bit in the story and following all of the claims that was put out there, I'm just a little over it. And it's not even just so much the claim from Blake Lively claiming that the producer SH'd her, if you guys know what that means. It's not even so much that fact, but it's more so the fact that Blake Lively tried to like control the whole show. She came in taking over the producer's job, and on top of that was given that right by like Colleen Hoover.
Exactly, just handed it over. Like, what was the point of a director in that sense then?
Exactly.
She was gonna be directing the whole thing.
So it's more so the fact that like, she kind of, I don't know what it is with Blake Lively in this role, but she basically kind of just, she's trampling on the producer, taking his right away, and then also not giving him the right to even view the changes that she's making.
Yeah.
Right? She somehow came in and is trying to be creative director, I guess. Like, she's taking over the role, she's making her own cuts, she's making her own edits, and then the original producer, or he's one of the producer, is not able to see what's been altered. How does that make any sense? And the worst part behind it is that Colleen Hoover is the one that gives her this power.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't make any sense. So, and not to mention, Blake Lively herself hasn't even read the book. It ends with us, and I'm curious about that too, because I know that when most actors and actresses are trying to play a role, they like to figure it out, learn it, immerse in it, so they can do a good job.
Exactly, so they can actually get in the head of the character, and that's going to be difficult to do if you don't even know the character that you're really portraying in the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, that got on my last nerve. It struck a nerve in me. I was just like, you know what? I'm like done. I am done with her, because I just don't even understand this. I kept these 2 books on my shelf, and I said I wasn't gonna do anything with them, but I'm originally ready to just kind of part with them, because I'm like, I'm never gonna read these again. One person said that this book was not that great to have all this hype. I agree.
And all this drama surrounding it. Like,
I agree. My only other major dilemma is the fact that your girl bought all these other Colleen Hoovers, and I'm telling you, I told Charlotte, I was just like, I'm gonna go and clear my shelf all the way off. And then I came down here and I'm like, oh,
yeah.
All I see is money being thrown out the door. So I have this one, Regretting You. You guys have to help us in the comment section. Let me know. If you have read any of these, let me know the ones that you think are worth keeping. So I have Regretting You. What was this one about? Morgan Grant and her daughter, her 16-year-old daughter Clara, would like nothing more than to be nothing alike. I feel like that's just worded so weird. Morgan is determined to prevent her daughter from making the same mistakes she did by getting pregnant and married way too young. Morgan put her own dreams on hold. Clara doesn't want to follow her mother's footsteps. Her predictable mother doesn't have a spontaneous bone in her body. With warning, personalities and conflicting goals, Morgan and Clara find it increasingly difficult to coexist. The only person who can bring peace to the household is Chris, Morgan's husband, Clara's father, and the family anchor. Okay. But that peace is shattered when Chris is involved in a tragic and questionable accident. The heartbreaking and long-lasting consequences will reach far beyond just Morgan and Clara. Okay, it sounds semi-interesting. I feel like I probably will give it a go, just because I want to determine if I want to keep these books or not. I also have All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover. My gosh, you think the title of this book is Colleen Hoover because her name is like plastered on the top.
Exactly.
And it's supposed to be like a love story. I wish it was like a better synopsis. Yeah, so it's some kind of love story. I got Reminders of Him. I honestly don't even remember what this one is. A mother's fight to earn a place in her child's life, but is there room for her? After serving 5 years in prison for a tragic mistake, Kenna Rowan returns to town where it all went wrong, hoping to reunite with her 4-year-old daughter. But the bridges Kenna burned are proving impossible to rebuild. Everyone in her daughter's life is determined to shut Kenna out, no matter how hard she works to prove herself. The only person who hasn't closed the door on her completely is Ledger Ward, I can't speak, a local bar owner and one of the few remaining links to Kenna's daughter. So, even though the topic sounds interesting, definitely not giving November 9th right now, but November 9th was so open-ended that I couldn't have fathomed what I was about to read, and I don't know, I didn't really like it. So I also have Too Late by her. Heard that this one was really good. It is a psychological suspense novel of obsession and dangerous love. So that in itself sounds a little crazy.
I think the twisted ones are probably a little more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. A lot of her romance ones just, they mesh together in my head. Or in my head to just like one kind of novel. Yeah. I don't know why. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you liked Verity because of just how spontaneous it was, how it was just like, okay, you didn't know what was happening.
Yes.
The next chapter.
Chaos after chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I feel like that kind of reminds me of the Silent Patient.
And The Couple Next Door.
Yeah, because those were just really wild and crazy, and some would think that those are like too twisted, but we give The Silent Patient like a 5-star.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it was so good. We have a review on that actually, a whole video for that book.
We should link it in this video.
Yeah. But you know, twisted books are, we gotta say, they're pretty interesting at times.
Yeah, it makes for an interesting. And then like another controversy surrounding It Ends With Us is the fact that like it's okay after the chaos of the movie being made, there were basically 2 takes. Justin Baldoni's take on it, I guess it's supposed to be similar to the book because he likes to pay homage to like the victims of such things in real life.
Yeah.
Whereas in the other perspective from Blake Lively was a little bit more like advertising my hair products and to check out my fashion or lack thereof, things of that sort. And it was apparently not giving. And when the both of those were presented to the people to kind of view which one do you like, obviously his was apparently winning by like grand slide. Like it was crazy, but yet hers was still what was put out there. And I'm curious now, like I feel like I want to watch the movie. I really do, just because I read the book, even though it wasn't something that I ran out there to go watch immediately. I didn't feel the itch like I had to, but now I do, based on all the controversy and all of the things that people are nitpicking at. Now I feel compelled to go and check it out for myself.
Exactly.
And some of the scenes that I have seen, I'm like, oh wow, it just seems so, they just seem so like not professional, not even say professional, but it's not giving, like it's not screaming what I thought it would.
Exactly. Some of the scenes just don't fit the movie at all.
Yeah.
Right? Like the vibe is off, or either just like what the characters even say. And
that's just based on clips that we have watched, because we have not seen the movie. So I just want to put that out there.
Exactly.
It's just based on little mini clips. So I don't know, for some, maybe by some miracle, like when I watch it, it will be like cohesive.
Exactly. This is pre-movie here. We'll have like a post-movie review.
Yeah, but right now, outside of that, I can't say like she's my favorite actress by any means. So anyways, you guys let us know. Let me know down below if you guys have any experience with, or let me know if you guys have watched the movie and your thoughts about it. And also if you've read these books, because it's old, like the books are old now. It's just that the movie came out, and that's kind of like what's reviving the topic of the books.
Yeah, exactly.
And the fact that I am getting them off my shelf. I'm like, there's no more room to spare. Even though on my shelf, she did take up one section, because I have a whole pile, and so they did kind of just get stacked back that way. So I don't know if I should just do one big unhaul when I'm gonna do it, but the idea is I want these gone because they don't serve any purpose. I'm never gonna reread them. I also will never recommend them to a friend. It's just not worth, I just don't personally feel that tie anymore. I feel like, you know?
Yeah.
That's just where I'm at.
Like a lot of people are unhauling all of their cohos as well.
Are they really?
Yeah, I think we saw, I don't remember exactly their names. We've seen a couple of just booktubers in general.
Like recently?
Recently.
Oh, okay,
Pretty recently. Like just unhauling a couple of their coho books. You know, that they know that they're not going to read, or they've read all of them. They're like, okay, you want to get rid of them.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I can't get rid of all of mine because I still have 4. I was going to, but it just, you know, I pay money for these. So I'm going to try, at least attempt to read them. And if it's just not working, we'll say by an hour, and I will not feel a thing.
Yeah.
I won't feel bad at all. I in fact I do need to do a little bit of an unhauling in my library. I know for Char, well, you don't really have
a whole lot of books to unhaul.
No.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you're good. You knew solidly more of what you wanted to read.
Yeah.
Because you have been reading, you were reading a lot more than me prior to us starting our book channel and actually like immersing in books. So you had more of a clue of what you were trying to what you're looking for versus me, who I just kind of went wild. I'm going wild with like all the books until I figure out the authors that I like to read. I know I'm currently trying to build our TBR cart for 2025. I know we're a little bit late on that, but I want to show you a couple of the books that I feel like I'm gonna put on there. We both will show you guys a quick glimpse of, say, 2 of the books out of the 25. So you really have to kind of check out our TBR cart when we put it together, because we're gonna be putting about 25 books for 2025 that we plan on reading throughout the year. And we may not always stick with it.
Exactly. We are mood readers, so it's not like, oh, okay, I'm gonna read this book for sure. Sometimes we're reading multiple books at the same time. It can be
It
hard.
just all depends on the vibe. I feel like it's a vibe thing. It's a
Exactly.
feeling.
It's how you feel. Like, if you want a nice, like, fluff read, then you can read that, right? But then if you actually want something more substance and then you're trying to get through a fluffy read, it's not gonna vibe well.
It's not gonna vibe.
No.
So, anyways, Char's gonna show you real quick 2 of the books that she plans on reading.
Okay. First one is Reckless. You guys know how I feel about Powerless, okay? That book was a little overhyped for me, but I have hope now because I read... Let me get the other one quick.
What did you read?
I read book 1.5, Powerful. Oh my goodness, this book, it was actually so good. Like,
nice.
4.75, like 5 star. This is by the same person who wrote Powerless. I'm like, how? Like, this should have been the main romance. Like, these should have been the characters. I don't know why she didn't make these the characters. It's actually really painful. But this book was amazing. It was really
nice.
good. And so now I'm like, wow, there could be hope in this book. I've heard some people say that the guy in here, the character, or the characters are not in this one yet. I'm really hoping it's gonna be in book 3 when they come together, because those are some of the best parts, when the characters actually meet each other when they're from separate, you know, parts. Yeah, that's gonna be really good. So I'm gonna try to get through this one. People say it's better than Powerful or Powerless. So
what's the other one that you...
The next one is gonna be Once Upon a Broken Heart.
Why did I think you read this already?
No.
What?
No.
What happened? See, why are we like this? We'll be like, oh, that book's coming out. We're like, oh, we're gonna get it. And then we think that it's gonna be read within that year. It takes like a whole other year before we read the book.
Yeah, exactly. I got this back. No, actually, so I got the library version back in February. Right? Last year.
No
so,
words.
and I didn't read it because then I was like, oh no, I have to read Caraval first. Because that's the original series before this series.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna read that first. But then I was like, I don't really want to read that book series. But now I'm thinking I should probably read Caraval. I should probably read it. So it's really hard right now.
But this one's gonna be on your list.
This one's for sure gonna be on my list because I read a couple of chapters of it and it's really good. Like, I love the vibe. The fairy tale vibe is just, it's giving, and I'm really excited. I mean, the girl's name is Evangeline Fox.
The name is
Evangeline
beautiful.
Fox, right?
It's
exactly.
Beautiful. Well, you guys will have to watch and check it out to see if she sticks to what she says and includes these books in her 25 books for 2025. As for me, one of the first books that I do know I want to include in my TBR cart is this one. It is by W.E. Schwab.
By V.
I don't know what it is. I feel like I start saying things before I even look at it. By V.E. Schwab. I think I thought I already knew the name.
Oh, yeah.
Oh gosh. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I've been hearing a lot of I've been hearing a lot of people talk about this book all year long.
Somehow I think she makes a deal, right? I think you told me that she makes a deal with the devil, kind of, right? But whenever she meets someone, they forget about her immediately. So it's like, that's pretty much it. They don't remember her at all. And then she meets someone who suddenly can remember her.
Okay, so it says here in France in 1714. Oh my gosh, we're going all the way back. In a moment of desperation, a young woman named Addie meets a dangerous stranger and makes a terrible mistake. It will be 300 years before she stumbles into a hidden bookstore and discovers someone who can remember her name, and suddenly everything changes again.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds crazy.
So it takes place 2014, right?
Yeah. Someone damned to be forgettable. Addie LaRue is a most delightfully unforgettable character, and her story is the most joyous evocation of unlikely mortality. Anyways, it sounds like... Huh?
And that's by Neil Gaiman?
By Neil Gaiman, yeah.
Okay.
Do you have any books by him? No, right?
I read Coraline by him.
Oh, you did? Yeah. I haven't read anything by him.
He wrote the Graveyard book too, which I did not finish.
Ooh. Creepy. I haven't read, I can't say I read anything by him, or at least his name doesn't stand out, but prior to starting a whole book channel, I wasn't exactly studying the names of a lot of authors like that. So anyways, another one that you guys haven't seen, and so this is technically like a little mini book haul as well for me, you guys, because these are new books that I have yet to show you. You guys haven't seen either of these from me. So there is The Blue Sisters. I've heard so many people talk about this one as well. Love the color. The cover of it is so cute.
It's really cute.
It's 3 estranged siblings return to their family home in New York after their beloved 4th sister's death. It is an unforgettable story of grief, hope, and complexities of family from the acclaimed author of Cleopatra and Frankenstein.
Oh, okay, that's why the cover looks so familiar. Because it's like the same vibe, kind of, as that book.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's giving family, not family feud, but family drama, because obviously there's things that are happening or something horrible that's happened, the death of a loved one, and like they said, all the complexities surrounding that. So this book sounded really good. A lot of people who read it gave it like amazing feedback. Is it a contemporary?
I think it's a contemporary.
Yeah, I feel like it's a contemporary, and once again, that is like my genre. I love just reading. I love reading stories about like stories and just
like real life.
But you know, it's fiction. If you guys don't know, I study psychology, and this is the part that I love about psychology. I love understanding the human mind, and so that's why those kind of books appeal to me, because you're reading about like characters, you're reading about the complexities of families and all the things and how they do things and how they operate and how they respond or fight or flee or all the different things that can come from just an incident, or you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I'm very intrigued by that book. I'm looking at my cart and I see some other ones. I have a bunch of books that you guys still haven't seen, but I will show you guys one more, and it's Intermezzo. So this is also a little mini book haul, and this is by Sally Rooney. I'm not gonna lie, this one just feels a little thick.
That's Sally Rooney?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
I guess it's not that big, but it feels like it.
Aside from the fact that they are brothers, Peter and Ivan Kubek seem to have little in common. Kubek.
Oh, wow.
Kubek. I didn't expect that to be spelled like that.
No.
Peter is a Dublin lawyer in his 30s, successful, competent, and apparently unassailable. But in the wake of their father's death, he's medicating himself to sleep and struggling to manage his relationships with 2 very different women. His enduring first love, Sylvia, and Naomi, a college student for whom life is one long joke. Ivan is a 22-year-old competitive chess player. He's always seen himself as socially awkward, a loner, the antithesis of his glib elder brother. Now in the early weeks of his bereavement, Ivan meets Margaret, an older woman emerging from her own turbulent past, and their lives become rapidly and intensely intertwined. For 2 grieving brothers and the people they love, this is a new interlude, a period of desire, despair, and possibility. A chance to find out how much one life might hold inside itself without breaking. Okay. So this is like 2 estranged brothers coming together.
Yeah. Who knew?
Yeah.
Anyways, it seems interesting enough.
The cover is very like dramatic. I gotta say.
So yeah. In 2024, a lot of the books that I read, I really did not read the synopsis on the back, or I did when I picked it up, but then because of being a mood reader and all, by the time we actually got to the books, I didn't remember a thing. I'm also mummified. My brain is like, you know. So, what was I trying to say? I was going to say, ultimately, the synopsis is, going into the book blindly is like what I like to do, because it just kind of just makes the story a little bit more exciting. However,
some books you need a little bit of context, because you'll jump into it and you'll be like, what? What's going on?
What was going on? So that's kind of like what I got for November 9th. It was the last book of the year for me, and I was going in rather blindly and was really shocked more so what it was about. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like while I want to know, I'm torn between wanting to read it or not. Yeah. Anyways, those are the 3 books that I do want to have on my TBR cart for 2025. So you guys have to stay tuned to see us put our cards together, because they need to be put together. At time's just getting away from us, so. Yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to share your feedback on like the whole hot mess that's going on surrounding It Ends With Us. Yeah. I want this drama to die, and I do want judgment for, you know, justice for the right person.
Exactly.
Because from what I have seen, I feel like I can put 1 and 2 together. So anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content, and
we'll see you in the next one.
bye,
Bye y'all.